Donald Trump just went on late-night TV and absolutely torched Keir Starmer over China, and the clip is blowing up worldwide. Welcome to Power and Policy UK, where global power moves and British politics collide in real time. Donald Trump is once again dominating the political conversation after a late-night interview that sent shockwaves across both sides of the Atlantic. In a moment that's now going viral, Trump appeared to publicly ridicule UK Labour leader Keir Starmer over his recent trip to China, framing it as weak, naive, and emblematic of what he calls globalist surrender. The comments weren't subtle, and they weren't accidental. They were sharp, personal, and very much designed to make headlines. During the interview, Trump was asked about America's allies and how they should be dealing with Beijing amid rising tensions over trade, technology, and global influence. Instead of giving a broad diplomatic answer, Trump zeroed in on Starmer by name. He mocked the optics of the trip, suggesting that Western leaders who travel to China seeking cooperation are going over with a begging bowl, while China continues to outplay them at every level. The studio audience reacted audibly as Trump smirked and leaned into the camera, clearly enjoying the moment. Trump went on to say that when leaders like Starmer visit China without leverage or strength, they're not engaging in diplomacy, they're signaling weakness. He contrasted that with his own approach during his presidency, repeatedly claiming that China respected America when he was in office because he imposed tariffs, walked away from deals, and refused to smile for the cameras. Whether one agrees or not, the framing was classic Trump. Blunt, confrontational, and designed to humiliate his political opponents by association. What made the moment especially striking was the timing. Starmer's China trip has been positioned by Labour as a pragmatic effort to stabilize relations, reopen trade channels, and engage responsibly with a major global power. Trump, however, dismissed that entire premise in seconds. He suggested that China only responds to pressure, not partnership, and implied that Starmer was being played for international photo ops. At one point, Trump joked that Chinese officials were probably laughing all the way back to the bank after hosting Western politicians eager to reset relations. The comments immediately sparked backlash in the UK. Labour sources accused Trump of deliberately misrepresenting the purpose of the trip and interfering in British politics. Others pointed out the irony of Trump criticizing diplomacy when he himself met with controversial world leaders during his presidency. Still, supporters of Trump argued that he was simply saying out loud what many voters already believe, that China has used diplomacy as a tool to gain economic and strategic advantage, while Western leaders hesitate to draw firm lines. Social media amplified the moment within minutes. Clips of the interview spread rapidly, with supporters praising Trump for calling it like it is, and critics accusing him of bullying an allied leader for political gain. Some commentators noted that Trump didn't just criticize policy, he attacked credibility, portraying Starmer as emblematic of a broader Western softness toward Beijing. That distinction matters because it turns a policy disagreement into a personal and ideological clash. From Trump's perspective, the moment fits neatly into his 2024 campaign narrative. He has consistently argued that the world has become more dangerous because America and its allies are no longer feared or respected. By publicly shaming Starmer, Trump reinforces his message that only hardline leadership can stand up to rivals like China. It's not just about the UK or Labour, it's about drawing a contrast between what he calls strong leaders and career politicians. For Starmer, the situation is more complicated. Engaging with China is a politically sensitive move, especially given concerns over human rights, national security, and economic dependency. Trump's comments risk reframing the trip in the public imagination, turning a diplomatic visit into a symbol of weakness rather than pragmatism. Even voters who support engagement may now see the trip through the lens of Trump's criticism, especially as media outlets replay the interview clip again and again. The late-night setting also mattered. Trump has always thrived in unscripted environments where he can dominate the conversation and deliver punchy lines that overshadow nuance. In that context, Starmer never stood a chance to respond or clarify. The narrative was set in real time, with Trump controlling the tone and the takeaway. By morning, headlines weren't about policy details. They were about humiliation, tension, and transatlantic drama. This episode highlights a broader shift in global politics, where international relationships are increasingly shaped by media moments rather than quiet diplomacy. A single interview can redefine how a foreign leader is perceived, especially when the speaker is as polarizing and influential as Donald Trump. Whether intentional or not, Trump's remarks placed Starmer on the defensive and injected American-style political theater into British foreign policy debates. As the fallout continues, one thing is clear. Trump knows exactly how to command attention, and he understands the power of ridicule in modern politics. By publicly shaming Starmer over the China trip, he didn't just criticize a decision, he turned it into a cautionary tale about leadership, strength, and global power. And in doing so, he ensured that what might have been a routine diplomatic visit is now part of a much larger, louder, and far more contentious political story. This is Power and Policy UK. If you want sharp analysis without the spin, subscribe and stay informed.